What do you think is the best way that Funky Dragon can start to work with the National Assembly for Wales?
Well, there's different sorts of ways, I think. It's important to remember that the Assembly is divided into a government and then the sort of parliamentary side of it all. And I say to lots of people who come to see me as chair of the Health Committee, for example, that actually if what you want to do is to make a very particular difference, if you've got a particular policy that you want to see changed or happen in Wales, it's the government you need to speak to. It's ministers who make decisions in our system. Ministers and their advisors, their senior civil servants, the people who offer them advice day in, day out. And, Funky Dragon is lucky, I guess. It does have, a way of getting through the minister's door and talking to ministers about things. And that's very important. On the other side of it, on the parliamentary side, I think there is maybe a bit of a job of work to do. It would be very interesting, for example, I'll give you a different example. The Health Committee at the moment, we're running an inquiry into residential care services for older people. And as part of our work, we have what's called a reference group, a group of people, older people themselves, family members sometimes, people who work in the sector, who are working in parallel with us. So we meet and they meet separately. They're looking at all the evidence that we are looking at. They're listening to the people who come to give evidence. Sometimes they feed questions to us and say, oh, make sure you ask about this. And then every now and then we meet up with them to check that the sorts of things that we think we are finding are the things that they think are important as well. And I think there may be something that Funky Dragon could do in getting a group of young people to work alongside the different committees that the Assembly has, so that when an issue comes up that is of particular concern to younger people, then you're there ready to say to that committee, don't forget, that we're here too, and here are some issues that we think you should be thinking about, and here are some of the ways that we would think about the evidence you're taking, which may not always be the way that you're thinking about it already. And by working alongside a committee, say over a year, I think people build up a bit of expertise, they get to know the subject themselves, and what they have to say tends to carry a bit more weight and authority then.